I am Natashia Brewer, and welcome to Renewing Your Mind with me, Natashia Brewer. Thank you for tuning in today. I am so excited to share this information with you today. As always, I love sharing information that's going to help people. For those of you who don't know me, I am an author, music producer, and songwriter, CEO of Resonation Entertainment Group, and I am the creator of 9 Steps to Writing Your Life's Love Song, which is releasing very soon. And I have a mission, a passion, a purpose to help people to renew their mind. As many of you are already aware, we are getting ready for the 2019 Renew Your Mind retreat, which is taking place October the 11th through the 13th in Deep Creek, Maryland. As we prepare for this event, I want to expose you all to some of the great people involved with making this event epic and life-changing. Each week, we will discuss a question that is relevant and critical to renewing the mind. This week's question is, why is it important to acknowledge and celebrate one another as women? As you know, the retreat title is The Strength of a Woman. Okay, so let's get started. Let's not delay any longer. Let's go. All right, so hello everyone. I'm Natashia Brewer. I am the owner of Resonation Entertainment Group, and I am producing this year's 2019 Renew Your Mind retreat. And the title of this retreat and the theme is The Strength of the Woman. And as I spoke to you guys about, each week we're coming to you with different topics that will enhance the event. It's just going to give you a feeling about what the event's all about and how to, we're focusing on renewing your mind and celebrating each other. All right, so today I have with me Shinead Riddle. She's a phenomenal woman. I'm going to turn it over to you so she can introduce herself, and then we'll talk about the question for this week. So welcome, Shinead. Thank you for taking the time to be with me this day to talk about this important topic for renewing your mind. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for just giving me the opportunity just to be able to come on here and, to be able to join in the topics in the conversation. So thank you for that. I'm amazing, though. Thank you.
Good. So tell everyone about you and what you do. You're an author. You're just into this spiritual, holistic movement. So let's talk. Who are you? Let the people know.
Right. All right. Well, simply or not, I am a life coach. I'm a spiritual life coach. So basically what I do is I introduce people into the spiritual world and what it means to have a full, abundant experience in life. So that means a full mind, body, and soul experience. It takes in every account of everything and it brings it all into one. And for me, that means showing everybody that abundance is possible, showing everybody that taking these steps in your life to ignite, or even, let's just say, introduce yourself to your soul sometimes is what's needed to actually get us on the right path, because in this journey we forget about it a lot. So I've written a few books in regards to getting that life path together and getting you started on that journey, as well as starting a business and getting yourself on the path of that if that's something that you want to do, because it does all go into one. So I've just set my life and my goal mission at introducing everybody to the idea of abundance and what it means to be a spiritual warrior, a spiritual leader in this world.
Oh, that's fantastic. So everybody needs to understand that, and how, the mind plays so much a great part in our advancement, in our, what we accomplish and where we are in life is very important. So that's why I started the Renew Your Mind Challenge, because it's like, it's important. We have to do this each day, right?
Yeah.
So for this topic this week is, why is it important for us to celebrate each other or acknowledge each other as women? Because it's so, I know growing up for me, it was kind of like these catty situations. And I've heard so many people say, I don't do women, it's too much drama and things like that. And I think it's very important that we celebrate one another and we feel like we have a connection or someone that we could depend on. So what are your thoughts on that? Why do you feel that is important, and how can we improve on this? Because it's kind
Most
of
definitely. It is very important. And you're so right on that. And what you first said about running into situations where you have experiences with women that feel like, I don't really do women that well. And women feel that way. And I like to explain why. It's energy. So first off, this is a loaded question because there's different parts and pieces to it. But I think the most important part to focus on is the energy aspect of it all. Women, we have such a strong essence and energy in us and within us that sometimes within life, we find it hard just as humans and as women mostly to move past that physical offset that we have been given as humans. One of the physical things of us is when we see something that's too powerful to us, we pull back. We pull back. And as women, especially Black women in our community, we're always spitting out positivity, but we don't feel it all the time. It's in different ways. You know, you got to know how to go approach it and how to go about things. And that's why I think that it is a huge problem within our community and our society, but it's something that can be nipped once we understand what it is. When you have that fire inside of you that we all have, you have to understand what it is to understand how to use it. And as us being Black women in our community and having such a strong essence within us, that's why they tell us to focus on our intuition and focus on our gut, because that's the one thing that God gave us. It's the one thing that we got to be strong on. But as well, that also gives us a little inkling on certain things. And sometimes it stops us from doing certain things, like talking to certain other women. If you just really made it something in your day to smile at another woman, tell her, you know what, girl, you look great today. That's something cool. You know what that is? That's a transfer of energy right there. And at that point, you're understanding what it means to give and receive energy. So the universe knows that you understand what this whole journey is about. At that point, I understand that I can bless you what needs to be blessed in your life, because you understand what it means to give and receive energy, to give and receive love. So you know what? I can open up that door to you. I can shed that light, because one passing of energy, it just ignites you. What he say, reap what you sow, right? Reap what you sow. You gotta put in something to get something back. And I think that's what we forget sometimes. We think there's not enough room for everybody to grow and succeed, but there is. There's nothing but space and time for all of us to be great. And if all of us decided to come together and work together and start building and making this pot something beautiful, we can all take a piece of this pot, bring it all together and make something strong. And I feel like that's the only thing that we miss as women in our community. We're so scared that something's going to get taken away from us because we just got it, that we don't ever want to give nothing out. And we don't understand that that's the point, that just giving that love and that respect to your fellow sister. It changes everything.
Yeah. And so you touched on something that's really important when you're talking about the energy, because I know, like, for me, when I first see someone, right, they kind of get a little standoffish, right, immediately. And so I'm like, but then I'll smile and say, hey, and then they'll just, you can feel the energy shift. So what is that about, where people just make snap judgments about how people, even just people's appearance or just how they look, or just somebody may not have a good day, but they, may not be smiling or anything, but that doesn't mean it's towards you. So what's that about, when people just make an assumption by how you look that you're not approachable, or how does that fit into this whole, importance of acknowledging and supporting?
It so much does, because when it comes down to that, I think that's so important. In the spiritual world, we dive and we deal a lot on your energies. You'll see a lot of the vegan movements and a lot of the spiritual movements in our communities talking more so about getting to know your soul and getting to know your spirituality and stuff like that. When it comes to your energy, we all vibrate. We all send out colors, okay? If you were to look at the earth with a scanner, you would see all different types of colors. We give out the same energy as the earth does. So when you go in a room and you're with somebody that might just be having a bad day, right? That's just the energy that they've got. That's the energy that they've produced for the day. Now, the trick is, it's you and it's the other person that's got something to deal with here. Because one, you can't allow yourself to be affected by other people's energy. Whatever that negative growth, because just like positive energy fuels you, negative growth, negative energy pulls you down. But also, you don't want to let that change who you are. You don't want to let that change the process of you doing what you're doing. So you still offering that smile is what even opened that door, because they might not even know that they're pushing out negative vibes. And they just needed somebody to walk in the door and say, hey, girl, did you know your smile was upside down?
Right.
Let me go ahead and tell you how to flip it real fast. Because sometimes as Black women, we don't even think about it. We have been so programmed in our community to act the way we act and to be strong and to be this and to be that. We don't even think about it. We call it a rest and be face is what most people call it.
Right.
Sometimes we don't even notice it because we're just putting on that strong face.
Right.
We're just putting on that face to save face and get through with the day. And that's not even what we think about. Right. But I think what we have to know and understand is that's a characteristic of us sometimes. And that does not outline who a person is. Just because she might rest and be face, that's not the person that she is. She just might be having a thought in her head at the moment and wearing her emotions on her sleeve. Right. And you can't that energy. And you know what, sister, what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna give you some of this energy that I already know you got in you, but you just need it out, because that's all it is. You just need a little light shined your way. And I think if we all remember to always let our personal light shine, no matter what, to be that light in the darkness, we can make so much a difference in the community and with just, celebration of ourselves and allowing you to be able to stand beside somebody. When do you see that? You don't never see that too many times. Where you see another Black woman standing beside another Black woman and congratulating her on her success and how well she's doing it. We've grown a lot, but it's still hard to do that because we're so worried about it. If we thought about it as, you know what, I'm just shedding my light this way. I'm just shedding my light for anybody that needs it. It's not taking anything from you. And I think that's what the most important part is.
Yeah, and you hit on the nail on the head. Why is that? Why is it that we can't celebrate one another? What is it? Why don't we feel like it's going to take away from who we are and what we have to offer the world? Like, why do we have to be like that? And why do we feel like we have to be so hard all the time? There's no off switch. There's no off switch.
None.
So it's like, why?
A program. I think it's like a program. I think we have been so programmed through society to have only one Black woman in a room. There's it's always been, you know what, there's only one room enough for one Black woman. But here's the thing. We've made advances in that. And I know it's hard to see, and I know it's hard for some people to understand, but there's not just room for one Black woman in the room anymore. There's room for tons of us to be able to be in that room. And the thing is that we have to want to be in the rooms. Right. People ask all the time, why don't you see Black women in this field or in this field or doing this or doing that? Because first off, one, we weren't welcome. So we didn't put ourselves where we weren't welcome. And two, once we realized that we could slide up in there, we started making our ways to it. But every now and then we get setbacks. Sometimes my mother is dealing with this right now. She's got a younger Black woman in her life right now that happens to be getting a higher position than her, and she's been working for the company longer. And I had to explain to her, so you support her in her journey. This might not be for you right now, but it's another Black woman in this seat, and you need to support that as youngins. And I know for us as the younger generation is kind of like in the middle, we have a point of being able to understand how much we did not have and how much we do have. And to see all of our mothers and our grandmothers and aunties working so hard and fighting for what they have, I think it just makes us a little bit easier to be open, to be a little bit more open to coming together and networking and bringing things together and stuff like that. But I also think that there is still that program thing behind it all that's like, you know what? I don't know. Is there enough room for me? There's all these, makeup artists coming up. Do I have that space to do it? I find myself sometimes, even me being as positive as I am, sometimes I find myself when I see another Black woman that's doing something, might have a podcast or might be writing books or something, and they're doing amazing. And I'm just, getting up there. I had to stop myself and ask God to, play on my heart, because sometimes you have to do that. You got to be like, what, God, help me grow through this moment, because right now at this moment, all I can see is that they're doing good. And the human in me, the human in me is like, okay.
Right.
And I think that's just the offset. That's just the offset. We just like, okay, I see you. Good job. And in our heart, we're like, I don't feel no kind of way about it.
Right.
But you know there's some stank behind it, and you can feel it. You don't even know what that is.
Right.
It's transferring that energy. You got to take that energy, that feeling that you feel right there where you're like, I don't know what this is, but you got to flip that. You know what? Excuse me. You know what, girl, you do your thing, because we need somebody walking through and opening up those doors. You know what? You just made it one step easier for me to walk through that door. And that's what we got to think. We got to flip our mindset as a community and understand that networking is about building us up together. That is one thing in our community that we don't have that a lot of other communities have, that they build off of. And if we can just open that door a little bit and give that love that we already have within us, we already know when it's one of us in the room, it's important to us. Right. So why not take that into all areas of our lifestyle? Start supporting, start celebrating simple things like telling a girl, good job. You know what I'm saying? Your homegirl calls you and tells you she did something good. Tell her, you know what, girl? Good job. Instead of, you know what, girl, I don't know how you're going to pull that off. I know that sounds like an amazing idea, but have you thought about this? I didn't ask you for all that. I just needed you to be here for me and tell me good job for getting started.
Exactly. And you hit something that's very important. It's like, why? So when we talk about these things and we talk about and see people doing the same thing you're doing, same lane, but they're just advancing a little faster than you do. So what is it about us, some people not realizing that what's for you is for you, and that everything is in God's timing? But we get so distracted about, watching somebody else. What's that about? It's just like, just celebrate, just be happy.
And you know what I think a lot of that comes down to? I think a lot of that comes down to, in this world, we have not been programmed to focus on our soul missions anymore. We have not programmed to focus on our life path. We've been focused on the bandwagon and trying to jump on something, catch the next fast trend, do this, do that. It's 10,000 hours to make you successful in whatever it is that you're doing. That's 10,000 hours of footwork, groundwork, doing whatever it is that you need to do what it is that you need to do in life. And that's in all areas in life. That's within yourself. That's in spiritually. That's physically. Whatever journey it is you're going on, it takes that much effort to do it. For some reason, we have this, and I think that's what's so important about our community. We have to remember nothing is being handed to us. I think we forget that. Just because times have changed, that does not mean that things are being put in our lap. No, you still got to work for everything you get. It might be a little different how we all work for it, but you still got to work for it and build it up. And I think one of the biggest things that we do is that we try to hinder our own selves from growth just because of things we don't know, things we might not understand, things we might not see, and we see that in other people. So instead of going and wanting to learn more or take in more information, we go and we try to start sponging and transferring energy, because that's what we do. We send it energy. So we're trying to transfer this energy, but we transferring it in the wrong way here. See, we're going and we're trying to pull what they have. It's a cup full, cup half empty kind of idea. Instead of understanding that what you have is what you have, and when your time comes, what is for you will be for you type of deal. We're like, you know what? Okay, I want what they have. Whatever it is that they got going on, I want it, and I want to make that happen. Instead of doing the research to figure out what it is that they did to get there, you just see it. And you just try to jump for it. So we just trying to go and grab pieces. We not seeing that they was out sleeping on their couch for 2-3 weeks while they was getting the money together to put their shot together to do this and do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just want that. We don't know that they wrote 5-6 books that didn't do well before they got to their bestseller. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that they made 6-7 websites before they got to this website that took off. And I think for us, we just see so many of us doing well right now that instead of trying to figure out what's making them do well, we're just like, I want to do well. You're not putting the work into it. You're not putting no, God is going to help you to a certain extent, but you still have free will. You still have to go out and put your feet on the ground. You still have to go out and take a leap of faith. And that's what everybody forgets. You have to put your faith in the situation and know that it's going to be taken care of. And I feel like that's a big difference between the 1% that they say and the rest of us. We go out there, the people that really go out there and they make a difference, they took that leap of faith. You know, a lot of them had nothing when they went out and took that leap of faith. But all they knew is, you know what? All I know is that I want to feed the homeless. I got this truck and I know how to cook. So you know what? I'm going to go feed the homeless. I spend most of my money on this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I'm going to make it work. Then a year and a half down the line, they get this $300,000, $500,000 grant or something to go ahead and move this to the next level. But we're not focused on all that work that they did to get themselves there. We're just we're focused on the end goal. And I think that's what makes us so apt to be negative in those moments instead of congratulating everyone's growth and every breakthrough, every barrier. We have women in neuroscience. We have women that are judges and lawyers. And we have some women in some high seats, some very amazing roles. We got a woman on the stock market. Like for stuff like that, to have women and Black women at that in these roles and in these positions that we couldn't even get in the door to. I just think so much time has passed. We forget our journey. And I think that's a lot of times what it is. We forget our journey sometimes. And I think Black women are so focused on not being the housemaker all the time. And we want to do this and do that. We want the opportunity to be different if that's the chance. That's fine. Do whatever it is you want to do. But you got to remember either way how you got here. And I think that's what's important.
And you hit on something that's very important and key. You mentioned that we get on the bandwagon and not recognizing our purpose. So we see something pop and we're like, oh, we're going to do this, and not taking the time to listen to God to see what he put us here on earth to do.
Exactly. There's none of that anymore.
So it's like, well, why is that, right? We just don't do it. So what is it within us? And we're kind of going to a whole nother question.
Reel it back in.
I'm not even going. I'll say that for another day. We'll have another question about the bandwagon. Prime example, the Popeyes chicken sandwich. So that's a whole other people so on the bandwagon, but that's another story. But so you hit it. So we need to figure out our purpose. We need to recognize what we're here to do. We need to recognize that although some genres or areas are saturated, businesses are saturated, but you as a person, they don't have you. So it could be the most saturated industry in the world, but you make the difference. And so how would you encourage someone to recognize that although life coaching is saturated, authors are saturated, so how would you encourage someone to recognize that you make the difference?
I think that's really funny that you said that, because that's so important right now. We all, and that's one of the biggest things that I've been focusing on right now, we all have a journey. We all have something that we were sent here to do. No matter how big, no matter how small, no matter what it was, we all have a journey, a mission that we are here to do. And what we have to understand is that that journey is being put in our way. A lot of times it's the one thing that you do with ease. That's your sole mission. But we run away from that thing that we do with ease. I don't care if you make the best chicken in the world. I don't care if you're the best lawn care person in the world. You're the best hairstylist. Whatever it is that you feel like that you the best at it. You are the best at it because you are the best at it. Now, here's what it comes down to. There might be tons of other people doing what it is that you're doing. You're right. You hit it on the nail when you said it. There ain't nobody doing it like you do it. There is somebody that needs you to be you. And I think that's what's important. There is somebody that needs you to be you, for them to be them. And it ain't nothing for you to step out and shed that light to allow whatever it is that your growth was supposed to produce. So if you taking that step, that's you saying right there, you know what? You know, whatever is to come from this is to come from this. But you got to understand that you are the most important person in the room. And I think that's what we forget. We think that we're not good enough. Nobody was good enough when they started. And I think that's what's important. There has to be a first. Don't forget there has to be a first.
Right.
Because we still got first that have not been knocked down. And there's still a tons of things that need to be done.
Right.
We still ain't got a first for it. So somebody's got to at least come close to give the next person to be able to take a step to be first. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we miss. It's the saturated part. It's that trying to jump on and do what everybody else does, but not actually wanting to learn anything about it. You just kind of want to be there. You just kind of want to see. No, learn everything you can. We need to become Renaissance women out here in this world. We need to learn everything that we can. We need to be taking in information. You need to be a jack of all trades in this world. You need to be able to, I don't know, build a structure and be able to pump up your car and pull your tire off these days, because there's just things that you need to know for yourself. And it's the same thing in your community, in your careers, in your personal life. You got to be able to be flexible and to be able to grow and to be able to accept all those different things. And once you do that, you make a way to be able to allow yourself to be able to support other people and support yourself at the same time.
Yeah, that's important. So we have had so many good nuggets.
Right, I know, it's so hard. I be trying, girl, to reel myself back in. I be moving, so you gotta pull me in. You gotta pull me in.
That's why I was like, all right, we ain't going there. Let's take it back. Let's break it back a little bit. But it's been so many good nuggets on this little short period of time with you. So, and I think the key points that I heard when we talked about the importance of acknowledging and celebrating one another is like, we're not losing anything by doing it. And by doing that, you're boosting your sister up to do and be the best person that she is and she's supposed to be. And so what would you say to the people who watch this video on celebrating and acknowledging their sisters?
I think one of the biggest things is understanding that it's all transfer of energy. You giving that energy to her is giving that energy to you. You feeling her is feeling you. So whatever future endeavors you have, whatever you want to do in your life, basically you just putting a little bit of extra stank on it. If you want to be logical about it, you putting a little extra bit of love on it just by being able to pass that love out and give it to somebody else, because you never know who just might need a smile. Just start with a smile. This is what I do. When I see women out, when I'm out and I see my fellow Black woman out in her greatness, I like to compliment that. You know what, darling? Your dress is beautiful. You know what? You are rocking that hair. You know what? I heard what you just said. Tutu, do that. Happy birthday, boo-boo. Anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a good start to help you start understanding what kindness is and what it means to have a positive exchange of energy. Because once you understand what it feels to have that positive exchange of energy, you can put that in all areas of your life.
Right. And one of the things that that I feel is just so important is you said love, right? And love and how important it is. And you know, one of the most important commandments is love God first and foremost, and then love your neighbor. And I've heard like people say, well, who is my neighbor? I'm like, everybody is your neighbor.
Everybody.
Right. And so that's why I don't understand when people say they love God, but they hate other people. And I think another thing that is important to when we're acknowledging and to help us to acknowledge people is to look at different perspectives. Like we always assume that people behave and act a certain way, but you don't know what's behind that. And you talked about that. Yeah. You talked about it briefly about how we're just built a certain way to be this, like, have this wall initially.
Yeah.
So how important it is to look at perspectives of someone else. And I know I'm not going to keep you on for hours at a time.
No, you are fine. But that's more than important. I think what it is we forget that everybody is growing. Everybody's changing. You cannot hold somebody to something because we shed ourselves every day. Yes. Basically, I'm a new person to you every day. You can't tell me that every day I wake up, I get a fresh start because my God told me I get a fresh start every day when I wake up. Exactly. So you have to understand that we all have a piece in this thing, but it's your piece that's important. I think the soul journey is so important because you got to do some evaluation to yourself at a certain point in this, because some of us just attach to the negative by accident. We don't mean to, it's by accident.
Right.
And when,
Right.
because of programs, things that our mothers and fathers, generational curses and things of that nature feel are just embedded into our community.
Right.
We have got to break that. It's hard. Yeah, it is. But if you're going to be that one person to break it, it's got to be you. And here's the thing. For you to even feel like that you are that person, there's something to that. For you to even have that inkling in your stomach that, you know what, I think I need to do this. I don't know what it is. Some keeps telling me to go open up this chicken shop down the street. I don't know why, but some keep telling me to do it. I don't know nothing about chicken though, but you never know. That spot might need to be open. That spot might be the spot that all the neighborhood kids go to, and you might keep people safe. You never know what might be that thing that it is. But we can't be scared to approach that. We can't be scared to go for that. We can't be scared to let those things in our communities, those things that we feel like have been holding us back and, pushing us here and jumping on these ideas and jumping on this process. Y'all got to stop thinking about everybody else and what everybody else is going on. Besides loving you and respecting you as a person, I got my own journey. I got my own thoughts and opinions. I respect you for yours. Right. But I got mine, and I think that's something that we forget to dive in on.
Yes, absolutely. So I absolutely appreciate you taking this time to be on and talk about this and encourage the women who are going to view this and going to participate in the retreat. So I want, as we close, how can people connect with you? I know you mentioned your book, share how they connect with you, how they get your books, all that stuff.
First off, I just want to say that I hate that I cannot be there at the retreat. I know it's going to be amazing. So just keep that awesome energy in that room because I know it's going to be freaking awesome.
Yes.
But, I'm just so glad that everybody has this moment to be able to have these little pieces, and you're awesome for being able to provide this. And, really, I'm really simple. I'm on social media. I do, life coaching and things, spiritual coaching. If you just have a question, I'm one of those people that you can just email a question to. You can just comment a question to. On Facebook, you can find me under The Goddess Queen. You can find me under Shinead Riddle as well. And my books are actually on Amazon. My spiritual book is called The Spiritual Gladiator Bootcamp. It's basically a 2-week journey that just introduces you to your soul, to the spiritual world, and what it means to be a spiritual Christian and a spiritual gladiator in this world. To understand that this journey is about more than just you in this. It's about you and your soul essence in this journey and understanding how that connection brings you to God. So it's a very good, intense little thing that's available on Amazon. It's not hard. It's nice and simple. I put it in very easy, understandable language. So I feel like some of these books get real. They get a lot, So I try to make myself nice and simple for, the average person just to be able to understand. You ain't got to be extra. You ain't got to have all this. Just be able to read and understand. So
yeah, because it could be deep. It could go deep.
Yeah, right? Gets deep sometimes when you're on these journeys, but that's okay. It's a journey. And once you get to the end, you're going to be good.
Okay. So as we close, give one final tip about acknowledging and celebrating your fellow woman.
Be the soul and give a smile. Act with your soul and not with your physical body. Your physical body will prompt you to do things sometimes that you don't even want to do as the soul person, as the essence. So think about that sometimes. Think about that when you're reacting and interacting in life, and be the soul in the body. That's my biggest thing. Be the soul in the body, not the body in the soul.
Love that. Love that. See, you about to take me to another whole.
Girl, I know. I'm sorry. Look, we gonna end right now. We gonna end it
right now on that note. I greatly appreciate you coming on, Shinead. And this will not be the last time. We have a couple more questions that she's going to be participating in. I'm super excited to see what you have to say about those topics. And we will close for today. Thank you all.